Welcome back to the Michigan Business Beat, brought to you on the Michigan Business Network. Chris Holman coming from our studios in downtown Lansing. We're going to run down to Ann Arbor right now and spend a little time with Paul Krutko. He is the president and CEO of Ann Arbor Spark, someone who has just been on the cutting edge since you guys were actually started as far as economic development. And Paul, it's great to have you on. Probably a good thing to do is just remind everybody about Spark and what your mission is.
Sure. So we are the regional public-private academic partnership that's really focused on creating economic prosperity in and around Ann Arbor, Washtenaw County, Livingston County. We also, interestingly enough, get asked, and we are right now from time to time asked by the state to run programs for the entire state of Michigan. And I'll touch on that in a minute. But we basically have two main functional areas. One is that we work with early stage companies as they are growing from the startup phase, trying to grow them to scale. We're very well known for that aspect of it. We're probably the leading organization in the state of Michigan that does that. Obviously, the University of Michigan is very helpful in that regard. And then the other side is we do traditional economic development. So we are in the business of helping existing companies grow and stay here, and also attracting new companies to the region.
Well, you've done your job well. When you look at the jobless rates around the state, Ann Arbor is always like number one for, lowest unemployment. So.
Yeah, and I think one of the other metrics for that is that our data shows that we're not only attracting people to move from other parts of the state to Ann Arbor for those jobs, but we're also attracting people from out of state. So we have interstate movement to Ann Arbor. So to the degree that we're trying to maintain our population in Michigan and trying to grow it, I think we and Grand Rapids are the two places where that population growth is happening.
Well, it's pretty incredible. And you got a nice little university there too that's kind of into R&D as well. So you do a lot.
Absolutely. And they've been a tremendous supporter from the very beginning, both in funding and leadership on our board.
Yeah, we've covered a lot over the years with the tech transfer piece of it. You guys have been instrumental, certainly, in taking those people beyond. Paul, what have been some of the highlights from this year so far?
Well, I think one of the things that I really want to highlight to your audience, which is of I think would be of interest across the entire state, is that we had for a number of years been, with our own resources, been running an intern placement program. The idea that we had is that we want to retain that talent that you just described at the University of Michigan. I mean, it's an international university. People come from all over the world. Very talented students in the state of Michigan go to the university, but they seem to have had over the past years had the impression that to get that high-tech job, they had to go to California or they had to go to Boston. So we set up a program where we pay for half of the cost of interns at early, sophomore age in that range in STEM fields, in STEM jobs in the state of Michigan. Last year, the state liked that program so much, they asked Spark to run that statewide. So it's not limited to Washtenaw County. If a company is in Grand Rapids, if they have a STEM job and are interested in getting a highly qualified intern, we have a pool of interns that they can evaluate, and we will help them with that cost.
Well, taking it statewide, when it's like baking a good loaf of bread. If it's really good, you want to start open bakeries around. So
yeah, and the interesting thing that they just changed was they're now allowing me to go to Notre Dame or to Purdue, and we can bring a kid that's going to school there and show them a Michigan job. So it's not only retaining talent in Michigan, we now have a particular tool to bring talent to Michigan.
That's great. Now you also are working in conjunction with my alma mater down the street, which is EMU, on an upcoming big event.
Yeah, EMU has been a great partner. All three academic institutions in Washtenaw County are funding supporters and are on the board. We are really excited because we have not had an in-person meeting. As you know, it's a very important meeting for us. We get over 350 people, and we're going to hold that at Eastern on May 17th. Once again, live and in person with a full audience. And we're really excited about it because our keynoter at that event is Thomas Zabrukin. You might remember him. He was a leader in the College of Engineering at the University of Michigan, but he's now the associate administrator at NASA. He's the guy, when you hear about the James Webb Telescope,
Yeah.
he's the guy in charge of that project. So we're excited. I want to encourage people who might want to come to that event to look at our website, because this is going to be a lot of fun. We're going to hear from sort of the leading NASA scientists on what they are doing out in deep space.
You need to have us down there covering that event. So we'll put that on our calendar.
Well, definitely. We're also going to talk about, the board has just met and we are updating our strategic plan. You can imagine that with COVID and the remote working issues and all of those things that have now changed because of the pandemic, an adjustment to our strategic plan is probably needed and necessary. So I'm going to be talking about that from the dais at that meeting as well. So we'll be talking about space, and we'll be talking about what we need to do in Ann Arbor.
Well, Paul Krutko, CEO of the Ann Arbor Spark. I think it's easy to identify you with that wall behind you. So that's Paul, it's always good to spend time with you, and we will see you at your event on May 17th.
Great. Look forward to seeing you.
All right, bud. Take care.
All right.
You're watching the Michigan Business Beat on the Michigan Business Network. I'm Chris Holman. We'll be right back.